25-year-old Kellen MeElwee was last seen on March 19, 2008, leaving the Cake Steakhouse and Bar in Langley, BC. That same day that Kellen vanished, he became an official owner of a 26th floor apartment in Burnaby, BC. He bought the condo for $675,000 by taking over the mortgage of two others for the unit at 4132 Halifax Street, just north of the Lougheed Highway. At that time, the two-bedroom apartment, sub-penthouse suite, was assessed at $525,000, according to the property records obtained by Post Media. Why Kellen decided to pay so much more than the assessed value is one of the many unanswered questions swirling around his disappearance. In an article written by Kim Bolin of the Vancouver Sun, published in April 2023, it goes on to say, "Of particular interest to investigators is a mystery person of interest seen walking across the lobby of the Halifax Street condo building the night of Kellen's disappearance. Investigators are hopeful that someone may come forward after recognizing this person with a distinct Christian Audigier-style jacket. The parents are offering a $100,000 reward for anyone who leads investigators directly to their son's remains. His silver Honda Civic was found on March 25, 2008, near his Burnaby apartment. The keys were never located. In 2009, Paula, his mother, had stated that she lives with one foot in hope and the other in fear. Someone out there has the information that we need, and I am personally desperate. I am stuck in the year 2008, March the 19th, she said. It's the belief that Kellen has met with foul play, said Corporal Dale Carr, lead investigator of the case in 2009. Over the years, the McElwee family has appealed several times for information from the public to find out answers in their son's disappearance. Paula and husband Len remember their son as having a normal childhood that involved hockey and baseball. They said he was a good student who excelled in mathematics. He had the widest smile and the kindest heart. He was very unassuming, but he stood up for his beliefs, his parents wrote. Kellen was a driven and passionate young man when he was faced with a challenge or a friend needed help. IHIT, which is an abbreviation for the Integrated Homicide Investigation Team, has never released a suspected motive in the case. Although the McElwees have repeatedly said that Kellen is no criminal and he has no criminal history and was well liked by friends. But suspicions about his finances were raised by two insurance companies in BC Supreme Court documents filed in 2011 when Leonard, Kellen's father, petitioned to have his son declared dead. In his petition, his father said that police received information in April 2008 that Kellen had been killed. Manulife Financial's response noted that there were, quote, virtually no evidence that Kellen met with fatal misadventure on March 19, 2008, unquote. The court filing also said that at the time he disappeared, that Kellen's annual salary at his job at Rogers Communications was $35,000, with a gross monthly income of $2,900, but the mortgage payments on his new condo were almost $4,400 a month. TD Life Insurance Company also opposed the declaration and questioned how he afforded the apartment. The respondent submits that this evidence is more consistent with Kellen's intent to devise a scheme to disappear in order to enrich his estate, or possibly as part of a money laundering scheme. The document filed June 28, 2011 said, "This is the only logical explanation as to why Kellen, a 25-year-old call center trainer, would acquire on the day of his disappearance property, a mortgage of $639,000, and consequent life insurance of $500,000. Kellen MeElwee was declared dead in a December 1, 2011 court order to which both insurance companies consented. The year before Kellen's disappearance, he was investigated by the director of the Business Practices and Consumer Protection Authority after complaints that his company had been involved in a fake lottery scam. He resolved the issue by signing an undertaking and agreeing to pay $65,000 to the government agency for the purpose of redress to those consumers identified by the director whose funds have deposited in the bank accounts of the McElwee's company in connection with the deceptive telemarketing activity. The director has received and investigated a number of complaints from consumers who claimed to have been subjected to deceptive and/or unconscionable business practices, specifically consumers in the United Kingdom and the United States. said the April 27, 2007 document. Complainants said they had received calls advising them that they had won the lottery. As a result of those phone calls, consumers sent money. It is also said that McElwee's company, Pan-Gen Capital Limited, had engaged in an unconscionable act of practice in respect to consumer transactions by taking advantage of consumers who were elderly, confused, gullible, trusting, or otherwise unable to reasonably protect their own interest, and are susceptible to influence that affects their prudent exercise of judgment. Kellen had incorporated his company under the name Pac West Capital in July 2005 and later changed its name to Pac-Gen. It was dissolved in December 2007 for failing to file an annual report. In July 2008, it was reported by CBC News that IHIT announced they received information indicating that Kellen met with foul play. Police were not able to reveal what had happened, only that they had enough information to support their suspicion. Police have also said that they have not been able to make any conclusive links to gangs, drugs, or organized crime as being responsible for his disappearance. Kellen Charles McElwee, 25, was last seen March 19, 2008, about 9 p.m. after leaving the Keg restaurant in Langley, BC, east of Vancouver. He had been having dinner with friends. He was parked in the nearby Colossus movie complex and spoke to friends by cell phone as he drove off. Several days later, his vehicle was found abandoned near his apartment on Halifax Street. He failed to show up for work at Rogers Call Center. He had no prior history of going missing before. On March 28, 2008, Burnaby RCMP released surveillance images of an unidentified man seen in Kellen's condo building. The man was wearing a puffy hooded winter jacket, possibly by designer Christian Audigier. He was carrying a DC skateboarding brand backpack. If you recognize this man, call IHIT at 1-877-543-9217. Kellen Charles McElwee was 25 years old at the time of his disappearance. He was last seen March 19, 2008 in Langley, BC. He is 5 feet 10 inches tall with a bodybuilder's physique. He weighed 220 pounds with dark blonde hair and blue eyes. He has a tattoo of a black and white dragon below his left shoulder. He was last seen wearing a black long-sleeved shirt, jeans, and a brown leather jacket. Anyone with any information about his disappearance is asked to call IHIT tip line 1-877-551-4448 or email ihitinfo@rcmp-grc.gc.ca.